Tonight on Lowdown, we're going for a walkthrough of Delta Chi's new digs. We'll go behind the scenes with the mule skinner and get cultured at an event here on campus. All this and more coming up next. Hello and welcome back to Lowdown, a show by the students of the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg. I'm Hunter Hallbaker. Thanks for joining us this evening as we continue to dive into all the cool things happening here at UCM. Speaking of, the Indian Student Organization held an event recently on campus to celebrate Dipatsav. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Suketu. I'm the president of Sanskriti, which is Indian Student Organization. The word Sanskriti means our values. My organization organizes all the Indian cultural events like Holi, Sankranti, Diwali, and then Indian Cultural Night. Holi is Festival of Colors. We celebrate it by throwing colors at each other. Sankranti is a festival of kites, which is around January 14th. The event which we celebrated on Sunday has a great cultural significance in Indian culture. The festival is called Diwali or Deepotsav. Every state celebrates it in their own way. In Indian culture, we celebrate Diwali by lighting diyas, which is like candles. The festival is basically festival of lights. We burst firecrackers, we exchange gifts, and it is a 10-day festival. There are holidays in schools, offices, all over the places in India. This event especially happens only once in a year because it has a mythological and cultural significance. So it happens once in a year every around November. It is celebrated in honor of Lord Ramchandra. It is believed that Lord Ramchandra returned to people after 14 years of exile in which he won the battle against Ravan. Ravan was an evil and it is believed that he had a power of 10 human brains. Lord Rama won a battle against him in Sri Lanka, which is current-day Sri Lanka country. And after 14 years of exile, he returned to his home place, and that is why Diwali was celebrated. In the event, we had all the dances from all the different parts of India, Bollywood, Tollywood, and some of the local folk dances.
Wow, that was an electrifying performance, guys. What do you think?
This is the biggest event of the year, especially for international students away from home. They get a chance to celebrate the culture, they get a chance to have Indian food. It's a very busy schedule, you know, studies, work, and everything here. So it is a great chance for students to show their talent, have Indian food, and yeah, just enjoy. My favorite part of event personally was food, because we do not get Indian food frequently, so everybody was excited about the food. My favorite Indian food would be Southern Indian food, which is dosa, idli, and some of the Northern Indian foods are like paneer butter masala, chicken butter masala. Those are my favorite foods. Organizing this even this big, it's a team effort. I'm just a face of the organization. My crew, they're hands and legs of the organization. The face just talks. All the work done is by my team members.
I'm Ryan Sheehan. I am a, let's say, contributor to the Mule Skinner. Tarantino. I don't even need to tell you his first name and you know who I'm talking about. Whether you love him or you hate him, like, odds are you've seen a few of his movies. What my first project is going to be, or at least what my latest project is going to be, because I've done stuff kind of in the past, is a review of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is Tarantino's latest film. And it's kind of go big or go home. I'm glad I'm reviewing Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You see, I have this interesting relationship with Tarantino. His movie Reservoir Dogs, that got me interested in cinema, got me interested in writing about cinema. It got me, like, it started me down this rabbit hole. So while I may not be in love with him anymore, I have almost a love-hate relationship, I have tremendous respect for him as a filmmaker. So, and what really got me interested in film criticism is just seeing everyone talk about it, and then I wanted to just do that more creatively. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood felt like a breath of fresh air. So the plan is, but at least 2 weeks from now, that there'll be a shot and completed version of it. And hopefully I can get into the groove and try to crank out something like every 2 weeks or so. What is it like working with the Mule Skinner? It can be a lot of fun. It does not feel like work, not in the traditional way. I mean, it's really hard, but it doesn't feel like work. It feels like writing. Within the story, I will sneak in an occasional film reference or some other nod to pulp culture or what have you. Like, I will have homage after homage of all the cool stuff, of the new wave French cinema, or the Italian Corbucci spaghetti westerns and the fun exploitation movies. What's it like to make content and then see what people's responses are? It's kind of fitting, I mean, to judge something and then have other people judge that. Because if anything, it's like, you gotta take your own medicine, You can't criticize people and then be upset when they criticize you. Because here's the thing about film criticism, you don't have to agree with a film critic you really like. Like, my favorite film critic is Roger Ebert. He is my hero, but I don't agree with everything he says. I disagree with his reasoning. And that's what you want. You don't want someone you agree with wholeheartedly all the time, because then you don't really have opinion, do you? Tarantino, I don't think he's a genius. I don't even think that Pulp Fiction is the greatest film of all time. Originally, I almost wanted to be a journalist, but as I did it, I realized I was more attracted to movie reviews than necessarily journalism. That said, being familiar with how journalism works actually kind of affects movies, because movies are about everything. And sometimes you come across movies that are about today's stuff or about history, and it's a great insight, if you're familiar with certain things, to judge that film and what it's trying to say. How does making a video vary from traditional writing? When I first started writing reviews, because I watched so much YouTube, like, some of the jokes I try to make would only work in a video. Like, because there's some stuff that, like, you can't have comedic timing in a writing piece, at least it's not the same. So you can do a lot of things you can do in written. Like, if I list out all these details of the film, I can have that go on for like a paragraph. And that doesn't really happen in spoken word. So, but then there's some advantages to a web series. For instance, because you film it, you can actually show visual examples. Do I prefer video over written? Written takes a lot less time. I honestly, I do prefer written, but at the same time, I also just want to do this out of ambition. Like, it sounds something I really want to sink my teeth into. So it's going to be more painful, but there's also a great deal of satisfaction that comes in with filming stuff. We spend far too much time watching these characters do not much of anything. Do you want to watch this? And this? Want to watch that for 5 to 10 minutes? What has the Mule Skinner given me? They have given me a great opportunity. Like, I have never been published before. So it was such a great feeling to actually be published, because I'm so used to talking about movies, but to take that energy and put it in a productive place. I'd love to almost not necessarily be ranked with them, but just taken seriously like they are. So that's my goal in life. Keep rocking on. And my advice to you cinema fans is that don't be a snob. I live to light a fire under the butts of snobs. You gotta respect that, man.
My name is Tim Peterson, Timpeterson. We've been in the Plex for, well, prior to about 49 years. We've been on, well, about 45 years. Plex was built in about the 70s, I believe. So we moved in there, and now we're here. It's been about one whole semester living here now. Been a real blast. So the house can hold 30 actual members, so 2 per room. However, there are 2 rooms set aside for singles, so that means the actual number is 28. So 28 individual people could live here at any time. Living here versus the Plex, it's been definitely, it brings back that like brotherhood spirit. Kind of a place, or one of our four pillars of our fraternity is housing, and one of the main factors of that is, you know, taking care of where we live, and seeing it full is definitely another part of that. So having it be full to a certain extent is phenomenal, and it's great to see everybody around. Kind of brings that like home to where we are. Fortunately for us, the house, for financial reasons, we do not own the property as our chapter. Our nationals go through our housing corporation, which is called Barrister Capital Corporation, which has purchased the property off the previous owner. So the more people we have in here, the more financially stable it can be. Long term, our numbers need to be in a certain range, so I believe it needs to be 23 people per year living here at any point, and then it's financially sustainable, which is easily done, especially with the amount of people that we have living here now. So first year is always more difficult than the rest, but we'll see where it goes from here. The presence has definitely been improved, I would say. It was definitely nice to have the letters go up on the front. You could actually see the improvement that we've come from one place to another. Instead of a brick building all around in 8 different quadrants, we have a brick building where it can actually hold just our own fraternity and make it just us. And we don't have to go through university housing standards or anything like that too. So it makes it really, really convenient for us, especially living here. So our presence definitely been known a lot more than it was in the past. So this is my senior year here at UCM. I joined 2 full years ago in fall 17, and like something that I could never forget, but it's definitely been something that from when I lived in the complex to now, it's dramatic and it's crazy. So,
because I moved in the 2nd semester of my sophomore year, and I moved in the top floor, and at that time there was 17 people living there, and then come my junior year there was 2 people. I had the entire 2nd floor to myself, and Marcus lived downstairs. So up until maybe November, December, I had the entire floor to myself. So coming from having basically a full floor to the floor by yourself is very different, and it's very lonely and sad. If you live with people, obviously your relationship is different than just like knowing them. So I think it's fun. It's fun to live in a house with all of your best friends, and to be able to walk into someone's room and be like, "What's up? How's your day going?" I think that's pretty cool. I think it's easier having events here because, I mean, there's 20 guys that live here, so everybody just walks out of the room instead of everybody has to meet at this place at this time. Like when we were at the Plex, everybody had to show up at a certain time, and sometimes that wouldn't happen. So it's cool just so you can just go knock on someone's door and say, "Hey, we got an event going on. Come downstairs." Downstairs is sweet. There's an air hockey table, a pool table, shuffleboard, poker table. There's a kitchen. Me and Tim fought really hard to make sure that the kitchen happens because we wanted a place to cook our food. So it's a really cool kitchen area. Yeah, and people hang out down there and they play Wii and a bunch of other stuff. It's cool. I think it's pretty sweet. It sucks that it's my last year here because I wish I could see it in 2 more years and see how everything changes, because this first year it's kind of like a test run and we're just still figuring out how to live in a house because we haven't done it yet. So no, I think it's cool, and all the alumni that come back, they're ecstatic to see it, and they like walking in the doors and they're like, oh my gosh, this is our house. So it's cool. That's really cool.
My name is Noah Lampson. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I'm a digital media production student here at UCM. Honestly, the reason why I'm here is because I want to be a radio broadcaster. It's been a dream since I was a little kid, you know, listening to 610, listening to guys like Bob Fesco growing up. And, you know, I've always wanted to be like them and try to make it happen. And I try to make my dream come true as fast as I possibly can. It's like, I met Ben Thomas through rugby. I played rugby for a little bit, but I sucked at it, so I kind of gave up. But I was friends with Ben Thomas. He got on the show. Zach Newkirk, who's been my best friend since my senior year of high school. And we kind of just thought, like, Zach Newkirk was on the original Here's the Thing, not even including college, like high school. So him and I kind of thought this was kind of a good idea to go into it, try to do it in college. And so, like, and then my roommate, Noah Waymeyer, who I just met this year, he's already loving the podcast. He's on every single week. So it's more of just like, I know these people. I know they're going to be on every single week. So those are the ones I can count on to, you know, have fun with it, talk for an hour long. And that's kind of how I met them, was just through random connections. And they all came together and we did the show. I mean, all my guests were special, but, you know, I want to have like special guests. You know what I mean? Like I want to add, you know, popular, maybe people like, I don't know, Delaney Walker or something like that. You know, coming over from Tennessee Titans just to come on the UCM podcast, because he went to UCM. So, and, you know, have literally anybody, as long as they're cool. Like, that's all that matters. If you're a cool person, you know, if you like sports, I'll literally have you on. I think it's just every day you can just tell our passion for what we do, and like, we love to do it. Whether like, I'm the only DMP student that's in the podcast. Ben is a biology major. Zach is a political science major. Noah is a marketing major. Like, there's so many different types of, you know, backgrounds and like where we came from and whatnot. And you can tell that even though we're all completely different majors and going completely different routes, we still all love sports. And like, that's the biggest thing, is like the passion that we have for talking sports every single day, having fun with it. And that's the biggest thing, is passion and having fun. Like, that's, if you're not passionate about it, not having fun with it, don't do it. Like, and I realized that doing criminal justice. Like, I hated my life. Like, I took 12 credit hours and I had a 2.3 GPA my first semester. My second semester, I took 13, not 12, 13. My second semester, I took 17 credit hours when the max is 18. And I still did my podcast every single week. I was stressful. I had to go home every single weekend too to go to work, because I didn't have any money. So like, I had to go home every single weekend. I had 17 credit hours to deal with and a show to deal with. And I loved every single minute of it. Like, I loved being stressed. I didn't love being stressed, but I loved doing the show every single week, because that hour or 2 hours that I was in the studio, like, I forgot all about it. Like, I forgot about that homework assignment I didn't do very well on, you know? Like, every time I was in the studio, I just forgot about all my stresses, all like the stuff I have to deal with on a daily basis, whether it's like, you know, mentally, physically, whatever. I just had fun with it, you know? And that's the biggest thing. It's just, I love it. It's so much fun.
My name is Benjamin Thomas. I go by Ben or Benji for short. Really trying to push Benji. Middle initial is G, so it's a smooth transition. I'm a graduate student here at UCM, and boy do I love sports, and I love talking about sports. My role on the Stovetop, I'm here to be, I guess, the person that's, one, the smartest, two, I tell Noah, Zach Newkirk sometimes, disrespect, I can't even say his name right, but I tell them they're wrong. I keep it honest and I keep it fair. I play between the lines and I play it straight. So that's my role on the show. It's basically to own these guys in knowledge of sports at all times. I mean, first of all, I keep the show interesting by me being the best looking, by me being the ultimate face for radio. So that's, I mean, the main interest. I also, you know, I hit them with the hard-hitting facts and the opinions that people need to hear. People need to hear. So, and also, I always just like to be a little devil's advocate on the show. It's always fun. Stovetop, it's affected my life in many facets. Many facets, some that I can't even put into words, but the ones that I can put into words are, it makes me angrier. It makes me angrier that I have to fend off all these takes. I have to defend the Cleveland Browns on a weekly basis. You know, that is life-altering, life-changing. So if anything, it lights a fire under me. Some would say it cooks in me. You know, it's an honor and a privilege to go out there and just tell Noah he's wrong every day. And no, once a week, not every day. I tell him he's right probably 6 days a week. The 7th day a week is when we're cooking. That's when I'm cooking up takes as hot as the sun, takes as hot as the inside of some fresh mushu pork, and I just let it all flow. Takes as hot as a paella that I spill the pan onto the table. I spill the pan into the microphone. The listeners, they get a little burn in their ears sometimes. But, you know, it's all for good sport, and it's all for the love of sports.
I'm Heather Hughes. I'm the coordinator of the Writing Center and the Supplemental Instruction Program here in the Learning Commons at the UCM campus. The Learning Commons it's a centralized spot for students to get academic support. So we have subject-specific tutoring, we have a writing center, we have the Supplemental Instruction Program. So it's basically a space available to all students to get help with any of their classes. The process is slightly different in our different areas. So we hire tutors who have done well in the courses we're looking to support. So if you've passed a class with an A or a B, if you have a letter of recommendation from an instructor, and then you complete the application and stuff for that. So it's connected to a particular course. So if we're looking for a tutor in American history before 1800, we're going to find someone who got an A or a B in that class. For the Writing Center, we hire students who have gotten an A or a B in their Composition 1 class, and then either an A or a B, they can either have taken Comp 2 or technical writing. Helps students in a couple of ways. One, it connects them with their classmates a little bit more. In any typical lesson, we each kind of remember and understand different things. So one particular topic might make a lot of sense to me and confuse the person who's sitting next to me. And then another topic might click for them, but I'm just completely lost. So when you get a group of people in a room and we can kind of share what we know, what we understand, what we have questions about, we can kind of collaborate it and pool it all together and all sort of benefit from each other's perspectives and understandings of the topic. Oh, we have a lot of special stuff going on for Finals Week in the Learning Commons. We're going to have expanded hours during Finals Week, so we will be open on Sunday, which is a thing we don't typically do. We'll be opened from 1 in the afternoon until midnight on Sunday, and then we're going to be open till midnight again on Monday, and then we'll be open till 10 on Tuesday. And then we kind of shift to regular hours at that point. So we're going to be open late. We'll have chemistry tutors, math tutors, the Writing Center will all be open and providing support as people study for finals. We're going to have food up here in the evenings. We're going to have some movies going on in the back room. What else are we doing? We're going to have some board games up here if you just need to get away from your textbook and de-stress a little bit, and some kind of crafty things too, like coloring pages and other stress busters, and a selfie booth. We're going to make props. So you can be like, I survived Finals Week 2018, with your giant oversized mug of coffee.
My name is Chunyan Dang. My major is International Studies, and I like UCM. Being a member of here, I feel although I'm from China, I feel like people are very friendly, and I like UCM. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I don't come here often till recently. Someone recommended me to come here for help, and once I came here, I realized that I felt so regret. I should have come here earlier than I was supposed to be here. And first impression, the front desk people, they're really helpful, such as Amy, and she's very friendly and she's really helpful and patient. So I wasn't too nervous after that. Then I had a great tutor, and her name is Tia, and she's very patient because English is not my first language. So I think because I also doing this research about international students studying at UCM, and then I didn't realize our university is really has a lot of international students. To my understanding, I think this is a great place for them to come and study and get help.
Unfortunately, that is all the time we have tonight, but don't fear, the show in its entirety and individual segments can be found on our KMOS TV YouTube page. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Hunter Hallbaker. Good night.